Hi everyone. This set of immersive mods focuses on fire and water mechanics. They play off each other well and work to enhance a survival playthrough in a subtle and non-intrusive way. Let's get started. Rest by Campfire by Cat Jill. Using base object swapper, it allows you to interact with any lit campfire to rest. Now you will have more opportunities for you to regain your strength during a survival-oriented journey, or use it to provide immersive save points like in the Dark Souls series. Warming Hands by Ed Ryu. Each time you use the hotkey, this mod will check if there is any warming source nearby, and if your character is facing it, it will play the warming hands animation. While your character is warming, you will get a buff to increase your warmth rating. This buff is compatible with the Creation Club survival mode, and mods that use this feature like Sunhelm and Frozen North.
Welcome. Let me know if you want anything. I think I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
Torches Cast Shadows by Weeknight. Torches, Candlelight, Magelight cast dynamic shadows. If there are less than 4 rendered dynamic lights, it works on Candlelight's spell toggle and Quick Light by pressing the activation key. It has brightness and range customization, and it also lets your character and NPCs cast shadows. There's even a patch for wearable lanterns by Chesco. All of the above features are toggleable via the MCM menu. Torch Bashing Ignite Traps by Trakshi. This mod allows torch bashing with the torch to ignite traps like oil pools, gas traps, oil spider trails, and it can also trigger tripwires, elemental runes, and more. And just in case you're not a masochist, Torch Arrows and Bolts by Julander. This is a small mod that adds torch arrows and bolts. You can use them to light up areas in dark dungeons, set enemies on fire, set flammable oil puddles and gas and beehives on fire by shooting them. You can also use them to set fire traps that last about 10 seconds. The damage of torch arrows is related to your archery skill level. Scorching of Skeevers by W. Skeever. This mod allows you to turn Skeevers into burned Skeevers using fire spell projectiles. You can then harvest charred Skeever hide and charred Skeever meat from the burned Skeevers. When you burn a Skeever, either charred Skeever hide or charred Skeever meat will drop randomly. Fires Hurt by Phoenix 31415. Standing on fires, campfires, and embers will burn you. Standing on steam sources scalds you. Standing on magic pillars also damages you, but it restores your magicka. The mod author notes that they could have done it for NPCs too, but they are so stupid and will always burn themselves. With this mod, all open flames except giant campfires will ignite you or your target. Generally, your own projectiles will not harm you. However, if you cause a target to burst into flames and step on it, then that flame will cause you damage. The true joy of this mod, however, is that it allows you to live out all your pyromaniac fantasies. And when you're done lighting the world and yourself on fire, jump into the water with Water Douses Fire by Kamikaze1. Jump into the water to douse yourself when set on fire by spells or dragons. Makes sense, right? The mod author made this mod because while fighting dragons, they found themselves wanting to jump into the water to keep themselves from being burned alive, only to find that it has no effect. And after all that adventuring and murder mayhem, clean yourself with some soap by using Dirt and Blood by J Serpa. Mostly visual and doesn't affect gameplay, these changes are so small that mostly only exist as a reminder that you might want to get cleaned, but they can be easily ignored and won't have any meaningful impact in your game. Equally, if you've taken the extra steps to be extremely clean, you'll get about a 5% discount when buying from merchants. By default, it can take a long time to get extremely dirty, but by that point merchants dislike you. In practice, you will get dirtier quicker as you hack and slash your enemies and get hurt in battle. NPCs that get attacked either by the player or other NPCs also have a chance to get bloody. Loki's Wade in Water by Loki Was Taken. an SKSE plugin to make water slow NPCs and yourself down depending on how much of them is submerged. Inspired by games like Dark Souls and The Witcher, or any modern game really that has water. A nice complement to this mod is Soaking Wet by Slavic Potato 1, an SKSE plugin that makes characters appear wet when in water and optionally in the rain or snow by dynamically applying glossiness specular to their skin, hair, armor, and weapons. It works on the player and NPCs. Once out of the water, the character begins to dry. Soaking and drying times can be changed, and transitions are seamless. Another great mod for this ensemble that I personally can't play without is Wet Eyes by Vinny Ryan. This is a scripted effect that is meant to simulate your eyes getting wet and blurred from water. If your eyes are blurred, sprinting, jumping, or even shaking the camera will make the blur go away faster. Next we have an oldie but goodie and an all-time classic, Drinking Fountains of Skyrim by Manny GT. This mod adds several drinking fountains around Skyrim. When you activate a fountain, it will give you 3 bottles of water. If you play in third person, you can see an animation. The sound of water is now available to make the game even more immersive. Every town has multiple fountains, and you can find these fountains scattered around the world, which can be very useful for a survival playthrough. Another classic and probably a mod that you find in many mod packs that include survival and immersion, Wet and Cold by Isoku. This mod adds weather-dependent visual effects and AI enhancements to the player and NPCs. Mainly we're focusing on the water aspect of this mod, as water drips from the body during rain and for a short time after and swimming and during rain. A light splash sound effect and splash particles play for each footstep when it's raining and for a short time after swimming. Breathe out visible moisture from your nose and mouth in frigid regions, which you can note on yourself and NPCs. You'll also notice that while in the rain or in frigid weathers, NPCs will act accordingly by equipping fur hoods and gloves to protect themselves from the elements. This mod also has a nice feature which accompanies Wet Eyes, whereas if you look up while it's raining, the raindrops will blind you periodically while looking up. Keep your head down during rainy weather, or move under the shelter to avoid this effect. However, equipping goggles will also mitigate it. If you made it this far, I appreciate you all for watching this video. If you like the content, hit like, and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.